Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How is everyone doing and feeling this weekend? I hope everyone is fine, sound. I know we're all looking forward to Christmas, so I hope the week hasn't been too stressful. Anyways, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about marriage. I just love this topic so much, and I just wanted to share my 2 cents on this topic called marriage. Maybe I could help one person, 1 or 2 people, you never can tell. And as always, if you have your own thoughts or opinions, please feel free to share it in the comment section and I'll always reach out back to you guys. Let's get right into the topic of the week. Marriage. So guys, I feel that our generation is meant to correct a lot of mistakes that our parents' generation made. But I feel we're repeating the same mistakes over and over. Today's topic is practically about marriage and repeating circles. I firmly believe that we as a generation, it's always easy. Something like YouTube now, for example, YouTube has been made easy for me because of those that have been ahead of me. They've figured out, they've worked out the whole difficulty, the whole process, and then people like you and I just get to follow the footprints, get to learn from their mistakes and get to know what to do and to do it. That should be applied in every aspect of life. That there are certain people, or people are always ahead of us, or people have experiences before us, so we can learn from them. Or that is how I see life personally. When I see people that are older than me, I love to hear from them. I love to communicate with them, to get advice, because I know that it's already been made easy for me. It's like a cheat code. Back to the topic at hand. I don't think there's a single human being in this life that hasn't had trauma, and so many of us have traumas, especially from childhood. A lot of us have traumas, and to think of how bad trauma is, or how bad trauma can be, and how bad trauma affects us, it's common sense for us to correct the things that have happened to us. It's just like when sometimes you hear people say, I'm just healing my inner child, or just making my inner child happy. Yes, you're correcting something, and I wish we would apply that in every aspect that has to do with life, especially marriage, family, children, and family unit as a whole. Talking about marriage now, especially women in Africa, I know that change doesn't happen overnight. But I feel like if we try to talk or try to help people, they don't necessarily have to be family members, friends, neighbors. It could be that little girl that passes your house every day to school. It could be that stranger selling something to you. It's just good to give them, because some people truly is not their fault. They don't just have exposure in that light, So I feel like we as adults, or people that have been fortunate to be exposed or have a better understanding in that area, we can make correction. Rome wasn't built in a day. Right now, my video can be reaching out to just 1 or 2 people. And that one person, if their conviction, if it sits well with them and they've been convicted of deciding to change how they think, they get to influence another person, and gradually, even if it takes years, at least there's a change being made. Other than, it's so easy. I hear a lot of people say, just don't mind, especially when it comes to African women, they say don't bother yourself talking to them because their belief is their belief and you can't change, blah, 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 blah. Any correction that is done in love will be accepted, You don't just go to, especially someone that is not really exposed. You don't just go to the person and be like, no, that's not how you think. You should change yourself in this way. No. They are behaving in that manner for a reason. If they were exposed, they wouldn't be acting like that. Like I said, it could be that little girl going to school, passing your house every day. You could call her, Personally, I'm someone who can have a conversation with any age group. It could be a 5-year-old child. It could be a 40-year-old man. It could be a 15-year-old girl. It doesn't matter your age. I can I try to relate or try to communicate with any age, so it's not limited. If you're talking to a child, of course you're not going to, how you have to come down to the level of a child, if you understand what I mean. So I feel like we as women have been conditioned to think that marriage is the highest or ultimate goal. This is something that has to be talked on. Even in schools, it should be taught because it's very important. A lot of us came from families that have so many siblings, and it's like you get to see the struggle between you and your parents, you and your siblings, the family as a whole, and so many times the dynamic can be so toxic and so depressing in terms of like lack of finance, lack of better communication, lack of understanding. Like there's no proper foundation, so I feel it affects individuals so much and us as a society, because as an individual, if I have there are certain problems I have that I can project on other people. It could be your partner. You tend to project such on them, and one way or the other we tend to influence each other. And you see damaged people making other people feel damaged, and it just goes on and on and on. That's the same way we can try to correct certain things, and it keeps going on and on and on. You don't have to get 10 people at once. You don't have to get 5. You don't even have to get 3 people or 2 people at once. That one person can be a foundation for other 100 people. In Africa, it's said that having children is a blessing. I believe in that. Having children is a blessing, of course. But I feel like we really need to understand what children as blessings mean, because it's always taken out of context that I can have 10 children even if I don't have the finance to support them, because they are all blessings from God. And it's like over and over again when I hear things like that, I always ask people that children are blessings from God, right? But why do we bring the blessings to come and suffer? Do you understand what I'm saying? They make it feel like children come down, or children are being birthed with like blessings in their hands. That is where it is being portrayed, especially in the African culture. I feel like we as a society are gradually losing our sense of thought or our thought process. We just want everything fast, everything fast, everything fast. No one wants the process. It's like, especially for girls, everyone wants to be Beyonce, everyone wants to be Queen B, but no one wants to put in the Queen B work. Do you understand? And it doesn't really work that way. You can never be Beyonce if you don't put Beyonce's work. As a society, especially we as girls, I know that life can be so difficult. Trust me, I understand you that life can be so difficult, and at times it feels like we're just, in the middle of thick walls, and it's like there's no way to break out from, there's nothing we can do to help ourselves, and it's like marriage is just like an escape route, because at least the man gets to take care of you and you don't have to bother about anything. And I feel that's one of the wrongest foundation to have when you want to get married. You hear people talking about societal pressure, you hear people talking about age, and then there are some people that is like, it's just time. They feel like it's just time to get married. There's no main foundation, Every family has its own ups and downs. There's no family that is perfect. Every family has its own problems. And as much as we love not or to discredit that spiritual side, there's always that spiritual side. Even the Bible, even Jesus recognized that spiritual side. So it's always there. And I feel it's more common in the African culture. I keep using the African culture because most times we are like wired in that way compared to the Western world. I'm not saying it doesn't happen there, but you get to see such cases in Africa as a continent. I just wish we could sit down and try to analyze all the things that went wrong to us as an individuals when growing up, with our family as a family unit, the relationship between we and our parents, the relationship between we and our siblings. If you pay attention to these things, it's so easy to break out of circles. I know we say, there's repeating circles, but I feel like not everything is spiritual. If you can just sit down and just do a little critical thinking, it doesn't even have to be for years or months. It could be a day, it could be 2 years. Just take out time to do some critical thinking. Ask yourself, what are the problems I encountered in my life? growing up. What are the problems I encountered in the relationship between I and my siblings, or I and my mom, or I and my dad? How can I correct this? How can I do this? You know, you tend to see people repeating the same circle over and over. You have to break circles. You know, there are so many of us that carry so many unpleasant things and start another family again, and we wonder why so many families are failing. I'm not even talking about divorce. You can have a full family unit, functioning as a family unit, but when you come close, you realize that there's really little to no substance in that family. Like, there is no foundation whatsoever. They are just together, but you can't really call them a family unit, if you understand what I mean. So I really wish that we as a society can really sit down and understand the concept of being married. Sometimes we rush and get into marriages, and it's like, my life as a single lady and the life of another lady as a married woman is not different. Sitting down at home doing nothing, sitting down in your husband's house doing nothing, is still the same. But you hear people tend to say, but at least I'm in my husband's house, and it's like, I don't know what that feeling is about. I don't know that what sense of accomplishment the feeling is. So I can't really, I'm not trying to discredit you, but I feel we can do so much more, especially women. Men don't even really have that problem. And a man can just stand up and get married just because it's the right time or age is no longer on his side. I will keep hammering this, that I wish we as a society can just calm down, you know, just try and figure out what is wrong. You can never be perfect. Nothing can ever be so good. You can look at me right now and be like, oh, this is so on point, but you can always find what you can do better or what you can correct or improve on. When it comes to family problems, there are so much to family problems than money. Yes, money plays a very big role. Money plays a very big role. Let's get into the issue of money. Like I said, there are some ladies who, reasons best known to them, they get married just to escape that, you know, that sense of having nothing. I understand, but then I know that we can be 10 billion and there will be 10 billion dreams and visions. There is no human being whatsoever on this planet that doesn't have a vision or just doesn't have a dream to fulfill. And I feel we women try to downplay that so much. It's like a man, if you ask any lady, she's like, oh, I want to get married to a rich man, I want to date a rich man. That is such a beautiful thing. Money makes life easy, but you can also have your money. I just wish we as ladies could look out for each other. That I can see a little girl passing every day, and then I call her, just few minutes, we talk about things. It could be about life. You don't have to talk about marriage, just about life. Condition her head not to think men will always be your savior. You can also be your savior. Nothing good comes easy. That's what people tend to forget. No one wants to work. Everyone just wants the good life. Everyone wants soft life. No one wants to work. And life doesn't happen that way. Yes, we have rare instances where you experience favor. That is different. But life doesn't work that way. You can never be Queen Bee if you don't put in Queen Bee's effort or Queen Bee's work. Please and please, make sure you have a solid foundation before getting married. Don't bring children into this world to suffer. We say children are blessings from God, but then we bring these blessings to come and suffer and just feed them with so much trauma. You know, you hear ladies saying, oh, I'm someone who loves children, I want to have 5 kids, 7 kids. I'm not telling you what to do with your body, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but I feel we don't tend to be considerate of our children. We feel whatever we want. If I want 10 kids right now, I'm entitled to have 10 kids. Whether I can feed them, whether I can be responsible for them in every way, or responsible for them financially, mentally, spiritually, physically, I will still end up having 10 children just because that is what I want. And it's like, do you really think about the kids? That is something that weighs heavily on my mind, that you find people just rushing, making decisions that changes the course of people's lives, destinies, and it's like we just take it like it's nothing. And every individual, you listening to me, only you know the kind of trauma you're dealing with. Now, would you wish that on someone else? I bet all of us would say no. If you're a sane human being, you wouldn't wish your trauma on anyone else, not to talk of your child. You give birth to children and you can't afford school fees, you're struggling to meet ends meet. Yes, you're meeting ends meet, but you're struggling. Life doesn't have to be like that. I am someone that doesn't believe in the whole struggle, strong woman. No. Learn to cut your coat according to your size. There's nothing that is so out of reach or out of touch. As a man thinketh, so he is. If I can think of having 100 million subscribers, it only takes time and the work. 100 million subscribers is not impossible. At least we've seen from people ahead that it's always possible. Even more than that is always possible. So long you put in the work and stay on your course, 100 million subscribers is not so out of reach. So no, don't think, I'm not saying having 6 children is bad. No, you can have 6 children. If you're comfortable enough to take care of 6 children, have your 6 children, life will be good. But don't bring 6 children just because you want 6 children and you can't afford to take care of them. And it's like, you just have kids around you, you're going through life, your children are also going through life, and then because you need to be there for them, you need to work, you need to do this, you need to, because you're struggling in every aspect, you still struggle to actually be physically there for them, because you're trying to meet up, there's no parents that just want to sit and not help the child. I'm just saying life could be easy. Life can always be easy. It depends on how you make your plans, the decisions, your journey. Everything is dependent on you. If I decide today that I want to have 10 children, all it takes is for me to work very hard so I can feed 10 children. It's a very wicked and inhumane thing to bring a child or children into this world that you cannot take care of. Most of us have gone through this. Most of us knows what it feels like to have nothing. Yet we keep bringing more and more humans to experience or to go through that difficult process. And it's like, life doesn't have to be like that. Life doesn't have to be like that. Take the risks. Do what you need to do. But make sure that you have a solid foundation before doing anything. I'm specifically talking about marriage, so I'll keep hammering on. You have to have a solid foundation before getting into marriage. You have to be sound, not just financially. You have to be sound mentally. You have to be sound physically. There are some of us that haven't healed from our childhood trauma, and we tend to project or pass it on to our children without us even knowing most times. And I just wish we as a society could do better. In this aspect of marriage, I just wish we could do better. Marriage is not an escape, or marriage is not the highest, be it for a woman or a man. Marriage is not your highest level of achievement. Every human being has a dream. Your dream could be a pilot, and it could be that you have to start selling flour before you can ascend to that pilot. I just wish we could settle down, think before making actions. People are just getting married left and right. People are feeling the pressure, and it's like, most times we as a society, where that societal pressure comes from, it comes from what we as individuals and collective as a society put into the society. That is what comes back to bite us. Like now, no one wants to work. Everyone wants to marry a rich husband. You hardly hear men say they want to marry a rich man, because it's like they know it doesn't matter. Only a man can go below his tax bracket and get married to the woman without thinking twice. But a woman will never do that. Yet to always preach feminism, who want to be equal in every aspect. But when it comes to marriage, women are so quick to go back to the Bible verse talking about men being the providers. And it's like, if we don't make these corrections, things will never get better for us as a society. You as a lady, you as a girl, no matter your age, if you are my gender, no matter your age, aspire to have your money. And I feel like we always have this misconception of having your money necessarily means you having the money to prove something to a man or to prove something to society. It is far more than that. Every human being deserves to be financially stable. You don't always have to depend on someone. It comes with a freedom, it comes with peace of mind. I am not against you becoming financially stable from your husband or whichever the case may be for you. We are not here to judge. We are here to make corrections. Aspire to be great. Aspire to be a great human. I'm not saying you have to be billionaires. Being billionaires will be very beautiful. At least for me, if there's something further than billionaire, I aspire to be that. It's just so nice having your own money. Having your money doesn't stop you from getting married. Having your money doesn't stop you from respecting who you need to respect. Having your money is just giving you as an individual that freedom and that peace of mind, There are so many women today, they're in situationships that they shouldn't be in on a normal day. And so many ladies today are in relationships that if they have money, they will not be in that relationship. And it's like you can always correct that, Imagine, I'm a firm believer that you can have it all. So long you put in the work, you can have it all. We're never going to get better, we're never going to do better as a society if we're always running from work or putting in the effort. Everyone just wants a simple solution. I will keep saying this, we as ladies especially, please aspire to have your own money. It mustn't be $1 billion naira, it mustn't be $1 billion, it mustn't be £1 billion pounds, it mustn't be €1 billion euros, it mustn't be $1 billion Canadian dollars. Just have money. It will save you from being in that relationship you don't want to be. It will save you from a lot of disrespect. Having money as a woman is very important. Having money as an individual is very important. Please stop looking up to a man to save you. There is no one coming to save you. There are some people that have been designed. Yes, there are some destinies that, yes, a man will come and change their stories. That is allowed. That is very okay. But you are not allowed to sit down waiting for your Prince Charming. Go outside, put in the work, do anything you can. I know that life can be so discouraging. I know that life can be so difficult. I know that sometimes there's no way out, but we can always put in the effort. Just try and do something. Start. I know starting is always difficult, but just start something. I wish I could have a microphone and a speaker, and every day I go out just shouting it. As women, have your money. As women, have your money. Marriage is not the ultimate prize. Marriage is such a beautiful and lovely union if done well or if done right. Don't start up a family with no foundation. Don't start up a family to repeat the same circles or mistakes that your family made or the society or the previous generation made. Please. Be sound physically, mentally, financially, spiritually. Every aspect is required in marriage. Love is not enough to hold a marriage. These days, everyone wants a rich man, everyone wants a live-in nanny, everyone wants vacation, maybe twice or thrice a year. Everyone wants so many things, and it's not a bad thing at all. I am team soft life. I don't like stress at all. It's not a bad thing. Imagine a man having to pay the children's school fees, having to keep up with the house expenses, having to keep up with the wife, your your miscellaneous, your dressing. You want to go for shopping, you want to get things like hair, you want to get handbags, perfumes, you want everything expensive. And this man is also responsible for himself. He's responsible for himself, for you, for your children, every single thing. I feel like we're being impartial or unfair to this man, because at the end of the day, yes, the Bible says men are providers. I am not disputing the Bible. The Bible has been there even before I was born. But men are also human beings, isn't it? You as a woman is a human being. They as men, they are human beings. If you as a woman, every of us as individuals know how difficult it is to make it in life. All of us know how very difficult, discomforting, heartbreaking. We know how difficult it is to make something out of life. But we as a society magically believes that you being a man, automatically you are expected to have it easy, or I don't know. And I feel like as a society as well, we tend to train male children right from growing up that they are providers, they are this, they are that. But we tend to forget that these people are human beings as well. In whatever you do, always remember that your boyfriend, that your husband, that your partner, always remember that they are also human beings. You can't expect one human being to take care of everything, especially if they have the money. Perfect. But if they don't have the money, that's so much financial stress to be put on one person, and you still expect the household to be okay. One person that is responsible for all of this and is not really making, or is not well to do financially, you don't expect him to come home every day happy. You don't expect him to be happy that you didn't do even a little thing. It's so easy. That is why you find men misbehaving anyhow, because at the end of the day, they are the ones doing everything. They are going through a lot, and they are just looking for that joy or something that makes them happy away from home. Just something that makes them happy as individuals. And then that's when you tend to see the misbehaving. It is a lot. It can be a lot for one person. Keyword: if the person is financially well to do, it is fine. But we as a society, especially when it comes to male and female relationships, every female is just laid back. They don't want to do anything. Everyone wants to enjoy. Everyone wants that very wealthy man, and no one is aspiring to be that wealthy woman. I'm not saying you have to you're making your money, you're making it for your family. No, it could be a very little thing that your kid wants, maybe money for something so simple. It must not even be a huge amount of money. You're being able to fix that problem without having to always go to your husband. It's such a beautiful thing, in my opinion. If we as women tend to really deep into this partnership, I'm not saying go 50-50. Whatever you want to do in your household is up to you. But if we tend to go deep into this partnership, you can help him. I'm not saying you have to pay for your vacation. I'm not saying you have to pay for your rent. Whatever you want to do, use your money and do it. But we can always help. Because at the end of the day, before he is a man, always remember that he is also a human being just like you. This is something that always blows my mind. What Mr. A does for his wife, Mrs. B wants her man to do the same. And it's like you don't even know the foundation or how that came about in the first place. Everyone just wants the same thing, and it's like we're basically living the same lives. You forget the home you're coming from. You forget the man you're married to, or you forget. We're so quick to forget our tax brackets. If I say Mrs. A that Mr. A did so and so for his wife, if I'm married, my husband cannot rest. He has to do the same for me, without thinking that man could be financially stable, and my man might not be financially stable as that person. Relationships lead to marriage, isn't it? And change doesn't happen overnight. It's a work in progress. You cannot tell me you're just living the life now, and then when you get into marriage you change. It doesn't happen that way. You're just deceiving yourself, trust me. Right now on social media, another lady's man it could be, I always give this example to my friends, it could be her 30th birthday. And it's been a long time he actually did something nice for her. It could be that he's not even financially stable, It's just that he hasn't really done something nice for her, and he has always had it in his mind that he wants to mark her 30th birthday in a nice way. And then, for instance, he goes and curates gifts, 30 gifts to mark her 30 years. And these 30 things have been specially handpicked based on the things she likes, things that appeases to her, things that she actually likes and uses. And then all it takes is for that girl to post it on social media. That is all it takes. Out of 100%, at least 75% of girls will go to their boyfriends, request or husbands, and it's not even, forget even husband, boyfriends requesting that same thing. And it's like, do you guys even think sometimes you're using what you see online? What if the case was something I just mentioned? Because you see wig, well, okay, maybe she loves wig that much. That is why he decided to make it 3 weeks instead of 1 week. And then maybe she doesn't really maybe she loves rings, but not so much. So he decided to get 1 ring. But since she loves wigs, because that's what most girls like this, currently. So we just love material things. And then you see it and oh my god, so a girl can have 3 hairs, this and this and that. Before you know, you've rushed to go and meet our men. And I just wish we as women can do better. We are so quick to say, if you help, you will never help a man, because a man will. I always tell people, then maybe look at the men. Look at the men you're having something to do with. Maybe that is a problem. That's why I say, when I'm talking about human beings and individuals, I'm talking about sane people people that know good from bad, people that know left from right, expose people. I feel like we can do better as a society. We can do so much better. Marriage is not all about having a husband and having kids. I think enough is enough, that we should stop bringing lives into this world to just cause more trauma, just to fulfill societal expectations of us. I feel like we're not being fair to our kids that we're bringing into this world. You as a human being, study your trauma, study what went wrong and see ways you could fix it. You're not going to fix it in marriage. Where you are currently, start working on them even before you. Marriage should be the last on your list. I always tell my friends that any woman that does not have money should not be thinking about marriage. You're not having money for the man, you're having the money for yourself. You're not having money to take care of the family. Have money as a woman. It is very important. It is very good. Have money as a woman, have money as a woman, have money as a lady, have money as a girl. Just try anything you could do. It could be selling rings, it could be making nails, it could be anything, and especially beauty. Women love beauty so much, so there's money in beauty. You can try, just try your best. I know that it's not easy, trust me. I know that it is difficult. The journey is not an easy one at all, but you can always try your best. Please and please and please, I am just pleading to us as a society, starting from myself. We can do better as a society. Don't just get married because it is time. Don't just get married because you have no one to take care of you. Don't just get married because you're tired of staying in your father's house. Don't just get married because you're looking for an escape from poverty. Don't just get married because all your friends are getting married. Don't just get married because there's a pressure to get married. Don't just get married because you feel your time isn't on your side biologically. Please, don't get married. Save yourself a life. Bad marriage is the worst thing that can happen to anybody. And bad marriages doesn't just affect the man and the woman. It affects down to the children. That is why we have to be very careful and cautious in making decisions with who we decide to marry and the kind of foundations we lay before getting married. Marriage is such a beautiful thing. I haven't experienced it, but anything done right is always beautiful. Marriage or whatever, anything done right and proper is always good and beautiful. So please, stop suffering innocent children. I know you want 5 kids. I love that for you. In fact, it's a beautiful. Children are blessings, like we always say. But please, try and have the means to cater for 5 kids before having 5 kids. I'm begging us as a society. Let's try and correct. It's not too late. It's never too late. Let's try and correct the mistakes our parents made, so our children don't get to experience the same trauma or even worse than what we've gone through. I always used to tell someone that a time will come, if care is not taken, a time will come in our world where there will be a lot of destruction from the youths. Children that have been abandoned by their parents, children that have been done wrong by their parents. Always remember that not every individual can bottle up trauma or can stomach trauma, if you understand what I mean. Not every individual has the ability. Every human being would want to be like that, but not everyone has the ability. If care is not taken, all these mistakes we are making will come back and bite us. And it will not be, oh, I don't have children, so it doesn't affect me. No, my dear, it's going to affect each and every one of us as a society. In a place like Nigeria, where I'm from, you can see Nigeria has a situation of overpopulation. There is no measure put in place for things like that. So you tend to see people, children just being born and born and born and born and born, and you tend to have so many people in a country. Sometimes anger can be so consuming that we just tend to hurt everyone around us, not even really specifically the person who hurt us. We just tend to hurt everyone around us. So please, I'm encouraging every one of us, please, for your sake, I'm not going to be part of your family. You're not going to be part of my family. But for our sakes as individuals, a happy home is a happy life. For our sake, please, let's try and do the right things. Let us just try and do the right things. Let's do things in the proper way. Don't aspire to be a single parent. If you're a single parent based on life circumstance, it is fine. That is out of our control. These days, people aspire to be single parents, and that is not a nice thing. Do you put your child's feeling into consideration? If it happens, if life happened, that is totally understandable. It's out of your control. But for something you have a control of, don't aspire to be a single parent. In whatever you do, don't only think of yourself or think of yourself and your partner. Think of the product that is coming from that union. Please, always put your children into consideration. You are okay. Some people start giving birth early for legacy, and most times if you check, there's really no legacy. How about you just focus on building the legacy, and then when you're somewhere, at least that you know that this child is not coming to suffer. Yes, you can take risks, but life can be easy. Life doesn't have to be all about struggle. You didn't come to this life just to walk and walk and walk and walk and die. You can also enjoy in your little way. If I have $1,000 now, it will be a very foolish thing for me to go and buy a designer's clothes. I can use it for another thing. Designers will still come. All these things will still come if only we put in the effort. All those things we want, we wish, we dream of, they will come if we put in the effort. Life is all about times and seasons. That you don't have something today doesn't mean you will never have it. Just be patient. Try and do things the right way, please. And we as women, we feel like if we're doing something for our children, we're helping the husband. That is such a foolish train of thought, a very foolish train of thought. That is also your child, your flesh and blood. That is also part of you. If you're doing something for your child, you're not helping your husband, you're also helping yourself, not your husband. So please, let's try to reconfigure our thought pattern, the kind of things we think are okay. You being married to a rich man, you dating a rich man doesn't stop you from having your money. You know, there's never too much money. Money can never be too much. You and your husband can be billionaires. It's not too much. You know, this topic just weighs so heavy on my mind. I just wish you could do better as a society. You helping your child, you doing the little as paying your bill in the house. You're not helping. Are you not staying in the house as well? Is that not your child as well? Are you not also benefiting from that? You can also help. You can. It doesn't. The help doesn't even necessarily have to be about money. You can help your husband think of a great idea. If you're dating, for example, or married to a musician, you can help promote his music. It doesn't cost money. Just dress up like me, sit down here, or dance, or do whatever. You've helped him. You can help him make a decision. His life is not all about, you're taking care of him, you're feeding him, you're taking care of the house. What is that? As an individual, if you're not married, won't you take care of your house? If you're not married to this person, won't you, even your friends, don't you take care of your friends? I'm not saying take care of your friends like children, but in one way or the other, we take care of each other. There are friends I have today that do so many things for me that is like, oh my God, we take care of each other. So how much more our partners? We're so quick to claim feminism, but we just want equality when it favors us. We don't really want the equality we're really fighting for, only when it favors us. Please, I just want to say, before I say this again, let me make myself clear. Please, I'm not talking about you that you will come and tell me, oh, men are this, men are... Please, check the men you're having something to do with. If you're dealing with a responsible man, all of these things I've said wouldn't be an issue. Please and please, we as ladies, yes, the Bible says men should be providers. We're not taking that fact away. But please and please, just try and look at us. Try and see men as human beings, just like you are. Sometimes I try things and it's so difficult. If it's this difficult for me as a woman, which we as a society tend to see that women have it easy. If me as a lady is struggling, how much more a man that so much is expected of him, so much. A man so is meant to be a provider for his own family. He's meant to be a provider for the family he came from. And then we also have outsiders. All of this on one human being. I can assure you that it is too much. It is way too much. Even if you have the money, sometimes it can be mentally draining. Please, let's try to give men the grace. Let's try to give responsible men the grace. Let's try to see men as human beings. If you're dealing with a responsible man, you won't be thinking about the things we think about when they talk about topics like this. Please, marry for the right reasons. Set a solid foundation down to personality traits. If you're self-aware, you know characters that you have that is not nice. Personality-wise, character-wise. These are very important and core foundations needed. Please, we can always do better. Sit down today, ask yourself, what are the problems we face in my family? There are some times that you just need to sit down and think before you can see a trend in your family. It could be as little as certain things happen to the females or certain things happen to the males. Just sit down and ask yourself, what are those things that is like a trend, a pattern? Those patterns in your family. Try and break those patterns, not just for your children, for you as an individual. Because before you can even have children, a safe and sane home, you and your partner have to be sane people to be able to reproduce that same effect. So please, try and check those negative patterns and even the positive patterns to see that you don't go off track. You don't always have to look at just the bad, also look at the good. Things can always be better. Just try and break circles, be it generational circles, be it spiritual patterns, be whatever the case may be. Please, just try, look out for those things and see what you could change or do better in your own home, so that everything that you experience as a child or as a family unit growing up doesn't repeat itself in your own family. With that being said, I know a lot of you are not going to agree with me, especially my African women, but the truth has to be said and we need to teach young girls better. If you know better, please teach the other person better. It could be that your friend, whoever that person is, learn to correct in love. That is also very important. Let us learn to correct in love and tell them the reasons why. Don't just tell someone, oh, you need to start thinking this way, you need to start doing things this way, without even giving them solid reasons as to why you feel they should change their thought process or how they see things. Anything done in love, I'm not talking about bad thing, anything done in love, correction made in love and with love will be taken, trust me, except that person just has a problem as an individual. But any sane person you try to correct, in love will listen to you. And we can help so many young girls, we can help even some elderly women, we can help ourselves. This is not about age, this is not about tax brackets. You can help anyone. Don't just limit it to your friends, don't just limit it to your sisters, to your family members. Please, just people around. You don't necessarily have to have a relationship with someone. There are great ways to start conversations. At least gradually, you're building up conversations, you know. And then you tend to understand how people see things, how people think. And those that need correction or help, you can always do it in love. Please, let's look out for one another. Let's learn to give grace. Let's learn to show kindness. Let's learn to show love. Patience is very important. Sometimes I feel we as society don't really understand the beauty in having a household where the mom is doing extremely well and the dad is doing extremely well. Like, it's such a beauty. Money makes life easy. Aspire to be a rich two-household family. Don't leave the richness to men. God didn't create men for richness and create women to depend on men. No. I will say this again, it is not easy. Life can be so brutal. Sometimes it's like you want to run crazy. I understand. But you never can tell where or how far you can go in this life if you don't try. Just start something. Everyone has what they are good at. It's impossible to avoid struggle, pain, hardship. It is impossible. But we can do it a little. Try and make things easier and better for yourself. Please, we can educate one another. If there's something I'm even saying or a thought I have that is not proper, or you think it can be done better or thoughts about better, you can feel free to let me know in the comment section. I love to learn. I'm always open to learning. But if with everything I've said, you still don't understand my points, I hope that maybe another person will be able to communicate it better to you. Well, I just wish everyone the best. And I just encourage each and every one of us to just try and always do the right thing. Put in our best. Don't just rush into anything. People that are ahead of us have made those mistakes for people like us to come and learn from their mistakes and try not to make that same mistake, And then when we make our own mistakes, our children will see our mistakes as well. So now they are avoiding two mistakes. The mistakes of the generation before us and our mistakes. Imagine how beautiful their life will be if they are exposed to so much knowledge, if they are being told or taught what right is from wrong. If we repeat the same mistake, we've learned absolutely nothing from life. My children shouldn't be going through the same thing I went through. My children shouldn't come and I have to struggle to meet up with everything they want. No, you can save yourself that struggle. You can save your child that struggle. Please and please. So yeah, guys, we should aspire to be better. There's nothing that is perfect. Absolutely nothing. There's always room for improvement. Always. So please, I think I have said enough right now, and I'll just leave you to do whatever you want with this information I'm giving you. Digest it well, let it sit well with you, think about it, and try to see where you can do better, because you're not just helping yourself. We're all interconnected one way or the other as a society. Let's try to do better so we can all have beautiful families to lean back on, to cherish. Just have life easy in any way you can. I hope maybe one or two of you can learn from all I've said. And also, before you leave, for our quote of the week, it's from Chim Amanda Ngozi Adichie. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Anyways, she is a feminist and a good author from Nigeria. So the quote for the week goes, "We teach girls to shrink themselves, to make themselves smaller. We say to girls, you can have ambition, but not too much. You should aim to be successful, but not too successful. Otherwise, you will threaten the man. Because I am female, I am expected to aspire to marriage. I am expected to make my life choices, always keeping in mind that marriage is the most important. Now, marriage can be a source of joy and love and mutual support. But why do we teach girls to aspire to marriage and we don't teach boys the same? We raise girls to see each other as competitors, not for jobs or for accomplishments, which I think can be a good thing, but for the attention of men. We teach girls that they cannot be sexual beings in the way that boys are." So yeah, guys, that's our quote for the week, and thank you if you've made it to this part of the video. I appreciate all the support, the love. Please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. Like, comment, share. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, don't forget to check out my shorts and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.